Welcome to this special episode of Frequency Matters, the RF Microwave Update series. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm with a special guest, Irena Goloschokin, CEO of Copper Mountain Technologies. Welcome, Irena.
Thank you, Pat. Good to be with you.
So there's been some misinformation published online about Copper Mountain Technologies with respect to your operations, and I wanted to get the real story directly from you. So I thought we'd do this interview and learn more about Copper Mountain Technologies. So you've been rapidly approaching a milestone anniversary of 15 years next year. And so what inspired the founding of the company in 2011?
Been a great ride, Patrick. When we started, the company really was formed around the concept of creating instruments that could be used by any engineer, as opposed to the luxury models that the VNAs have traditionally been very expensive, large and bulky, with a computer inside, being used in a lab where all the potential devices under test had to be brought into the lab to be tested. And all the engineers who used the instruments had to know exactly how to use them, everything, and had to understand everything and figure it out on their own. The need for instrumentation in 2000s changed significantly, especially by 2011, when everything around us became RF driven. The Internet of Things changed the world. The Internet was all around us. And how does the Internet work? It actually uses radio waves to communicate. And that's how people can send and receive information regardless of where they are. And so in order to support this Internet around us, everything had to be RF enabled. So the need for the RF test instrumentation changed completely. Everything that was created needed a VNA for it to be designed, for it to be manufactured, and then for it to be tested when it was in the field. So life demanded much more accessible VNAs that could be used by many more engineers, and it required a different approach. From the beginning, the company focused on this experience of using the VNA rather than just on the instrument itself. And our mission was to build instruments that could be used by any engineer, that were compact, much smaller than the traditional VNA, that could use any computer, so they were portable and could use different operating systems and allowed the engineers the freedom that they needed in making their measurements.
Yeah, I feel like you really democratized test and measurement. So it was a great mission that you are still supporting. So Copper Mountain Technologies has also seen several challenges and successes through your history. Can you share some of those challenges and how you transformed your business operations in the last few years?
When we started the company back in 2011, we looked for the best combination of great talent and reasonable costs, so we can develop and bring to the industry great products at a very reasonable cost. And at the time, the right place to do that was by working with engineers in Russia and a contract manufacturer in that country. And as you remember, this was something that the industry knew. We brought that to the industry, and everybody welcomed a new participant in the network analyzer space. Over time, the situation changed. We learned that geography does matter. And when the global situation evolved, and when the war between Russia and Ukraine started, we realized that we could no longer continue doing business the way we had been. And so back in 2022, we closed down any sort of operations that we had in Russia. We moved our engineering office to Cyprus. Cyprus has been attracting a lot of tech business, particularly IT and other tech companies. They have a large number of incentives that attract technological businesses. And so it seemed like that would be a great place. And it ended up being a great place for our office. So we moved our engineering office there, opened a service center, and fairly recently also added production capabilities. We've rebuilt our supply chain to where all of our components and all of our sub-assemblies come from various subcontractors and vendors throughout the world, some in the US, some in the Far East, like South Korea, some in Europe, and of course, a little bit from Cyprus as well. It's been a very interesting journey. I think we started reshoring before that was the popular word. And the state of Indiana, which is where we are located, has been a great partner for us. We are a member of Connexus, which is the statewide organization of manufacturers here in Indiana. And they have assisted us with connections to other local vendors, as well as some grants and state incentives to expand our production here. So this has been a great opportunity. We learned that geography matters and global situation affects even the smallest of businesses. I think all of us are kind of thinking about it these days with so much uncertainty, and the electronics industry is very much affected by what is happening in the Far East and the situation with China and what is happening. I'm sure I'm not the only CEO who's thinking about, what am I going to do if the global situation shifts again? And I have to find other ways to support my customers.
Well, that was a big transformation. What was the hardest thing you had to deal with during this transition?
It's interesting. As hard as it is to relocate your engineering, to relocate your production and learn to make your instruments in a completely different technological environment, that wasn't the hardest thing. The hardest thing for us was dealing with a smear campaign that was started online. There were a number of anonymous articles that were published on some sites with questionable background and ownership. And these articles collected a lot of publicly available information about the company from the various years that we've been in existence, and added their own interpretation and essentially created the appearance of impropriety. This information was propagated on the internet and by some in our industry. We had customers who reached out to us and asked questions about it because they received this information from some in our industry. It reached the US government. Of course it did. And we, as a high-tech business, we've had a relationship with the Department of Commerce, Bureau of Industry and Security, and the FBI for many years. They've been overseeing our operations, coming to visit us every year for the last 6 or 7 years as an exporter of high tech. I'm sure others in the industry have similar relationships. And so they came to visit us and ask us questions about these articles. They've reviewed our operations and they deemed all of this slander incorrect and inaccurate. Our liaison at the Department of Commerce even offered to provide a reference for us, which was very nice of him. He didn't have to do that, but that's great. So the restructuring and the change in the business was something we could control. We made the decision, we invested additional resources, and we were able to rebuild. This is something completely different. I think I got a taste of the cancel culture that's being discussed in the media so much. Somebody or somebody's wanted to cancel Copper Mountain Technologies. The unfortunate outcome of something like this is our customers suffered. Some of them had doubt, and perhaps some of them could not continue to use our products. Fortunately, many of them were able to reach out to us, and we were able to explain what is going on and show them and demonstrate where we're making our products. We are open for visits. So if anybody wants to come visit us in Indianapolis or in Cyprus to see where we make our products, we are a very welcoming group. So please come visit.
Yes, you've been fully vetted and checked out, even by the government. So you've definitely done the right thing. So is that what drove the company to make all these changes, or were there additional things?
To be honest with you, the biggest driver for us was the customers. We have some customers who rely on products and expertise that we can provide that they cannot get anywhere else. I know there are a lot of other VNA manufacturers in the market, more every day. We sort of democratize the industry, as you say, and a lot of companies are jumping into the VNA making business these days. But there are things that we offer to our customers that are unique. Some of them are the one-port analyzers that don't require a cable to connect to the device under test. That is actually a patented instrument that we offer. But I would say that the biggest advantage we offer our customers is the way we work with them. We don't support our instruments. We support our customers as they make their measurements and they solve their engineering problems.
Well, speaking of customer support, there are so many manufacturers of VNAs, as you said. How does Copper Mountain Technologies connect with engineers and help them be successful with these different kind of tools?
When we hire new employees, we tell them we're here because our customers choose to do business with us. And we're here because a lot of our customers choose to do business with us again and again and again. And in order for that to continue, we need to make it very seamless for them to work with us. And so when we make decisions, that's what we ask ourselves. Is it going to make it easier for customers to achieve their objectives? And that's how we structure our operations. Just a couple of examples. We have our software available on our website. You can download and you can use it in demo mode, and you can develop automation. You can test a lot of things, and you can even use it as a viewer to see results that you generated from other instruments. That's all free and available from our website. And a lot of engineers start our relationship that way. We offer free instrument trials. You don't have to pay to use our instrument for a period of a few weeks. And not only do we send you the instrument and the accessories, we also send you an engineer. Every trial has an assigned engineer from our applications support team, and they work with the customers to help make these measurements and figure out how to do their automation. And we know that customers value that a lot. We also offer a lot of content, a lot of useful materials. One of our engineers, Brian Walker, has become a bit of a celebrity. At trade shows, people come and ask us, can we see Brian? We want to talk to him because he's such a knowledgeable guy. So those are kind of the things that we do. I can give you an example. So we recently worked with a manufacturer of quantum computing devices, and they needed to control VNA output power in order to make their measurements. Our engineers learned about quantum computing. Brian actually wrote an article about it fairly recently. And then they developed very specialized automation protocol for this customer so that the output power was controlled during their measurement. This is the way that we approach this. We think that we're only successful if our customers are successful in making the measurement and achieving their objectives.
Well, you're a unique company, so maybe you can summarize by what Copper Mountain Technologies is bringing to the industry today.
In a way, the same thing we brought to the industry in 2011, customer-focused innovation, doing things differently, and focusing on the user experience as the VNAs are used in more and more ways, in more and more environments where a VNA was never used before. Some of us are Star Trek fans, and so we talk about taking the VNA where no VNA has gone before. And a lot of our customers do, including NASA, which took it to the moon, which was very, very exciting for us. But that's kind of where we are. Our customers need these specialized applications for VNAs. They have these very unique situations where a VNA can help them, and we're there to make it happen.
Yeah, I've seen your VNAs used in materials measurements, on drones, so you're absolutely right. And glad you're enabling the industry to do new and innovative things. So thank you, Irena, for setting the record straight about your business and how you've completely transformed your operations. It's admirable that you've done that and you did it before it was needed. So good job with that. You can find more videos at videos.microwavejournal.com. Thanks for watching.